I call this a yin yang class because there's gonna be moments of like strong effort followed by moments of stillness. And a way to think about this is creating tension to release tension. So sometimes our muscles are holding on so tightly that we actually cannot relax them. They just can't do that. So it's almost like, trying to think of an analogy here. uh, if you have like tension, like say in your hand, instead of just like trying to relax your palm, which is used to gripping, which normally most of us, our resting state of our palm is kind of curled inward, where if we squeeze our hands really, really tightly, really, really tightly, and then splay them wide and then relax them, the tension in the hand can release. The true is for other muscles in our bodies, whether that's the deep pelvic floor muscles, whether it's the core, the shoulders, the eyes especially. One of the best ways to actually relieve tension in the eyes is to squeeze them really tightly for a bit and then relax them. The only I guess muscles I'd say never do that for is your jaw. Never clench your jaw really tightly to release tension. That's going to cause some problems. But pretty much everything else that I can think of off the top of my head, you can create some like tension in your muscles and then let them go. It's a great way to use gravity to help you relax. A lot of what we'll be doing in our meditative practices are things you can do laying down. So if you're, say, lying down to go to sleep, you just notice that you're still holding, you can clench up and then let go. You can clench up and let go. And we'll practice that actually as we go into Shavasana tonight. How that translates into our class today is that we're going to be doing at the beginning quite a bit of movement followed by moments of stillness. And so we're going to get the heart moving a little bit, we're going to get the muscles engaged, and then we're going to kind of come to a contracted point, if you will, or a still point. And that is the relaxation. So the creating of tension is the movement, and then the stopping is the releasing of that tension. Later on, it'll look more like a classical yin class because this is the evening and we're trying to bring us down a bit. And so we'll be holding some harder postures for a bit longer and then coming into some restful postures and holding those as well. So that's kind of the map of where we're going. So please sit tall, be comfortable. We're going to get centered and lightly practice some of this just in a seat. Welcome everybody I haven't said hi to. So the eyes closing. And we're going to start kind of from the top of the body, working our way on down. So first, just notice your body resting here, the body sitting here. Maybe noticing where you are holding tension, where you're not holding tension. Bring your awareness to your eyes. And then go ahead and just squeeze your eyes. Squeeze them tight. Keep breathing though. Don't stop breathing. Just squeeze your eyes. Breathe, squeeze tighter. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Squeeze. You're starting to see like the weird light movement as you squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then relax. Keep the eyes closed though. Just relax. Feel the softness around the eyeballs and the back of the eyes, the eyelids themselves. You can feel blood flow in the eye sockets as well. Good. Now shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze them up as much as you can. Breathe. Squeeze the shoulders tightly, tightly up toward the ears. Squeeze them as much as you can. Breathe. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Create that tension. Squeeze them together. Lift them up toward the ears as much as you can. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Deep breath in. With an exhale, drop them. And feel sensation. Might feel like warmth. You might just notice the blood flow along the shoulders. It might feel like the shoulders are dropped further away from the ears. These are all options. It's okay if that's not the case for you. Then turn your hands up on your knees and squeeze your fists. Make fists and squeeze them as much as you can. Squeeze them. Get the forearms engaged. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Careful not to dig your fingernails into your palms too much, but squeeze the fists. Squeeze them as much as you can. Breathe here. When we tend to squeeze, sometimes we tend to hold our breaths. Don't hold your breath. Deep breath in and out. And then inhale, splay the hands wide. Fingers as wide as you can. Stretch them out. Stretch, 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 stretch. Stretch. Breathe. And then relax your palms face down on your knees. And just feel sensation, the blood flow in the forearms, the wrists, the hands, the fingers. Good. The next one is an engagement of both the abdomen and the pelvic floor. So this one we'll see what it goes on with the breath. We might hold the breath, might not hold the breath. We'll see what happens. So take a deep breath in. With your exhale, pull up your pelvic floor and pull your abdomen toward your spine and just squeeze everything together. Squeeze. Now, if you can, breathe more up in your chest and squeeze the pelvic floor as much as you can. You'll feel the genital muscles engage, getting mixed up my words here, the urogenital sphincter muscle, the rectum pulling everything up. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then inhale, relax. I got tripped up with my words there, but you got the message. Everything's squeezing to that point, and then the relaxation from that. And there's a softness that comes to the belly. There's a softness that comes to the pelvic floor and all the muscles of your pelvis. Feel that softness. Creating tension to release tension. The softness that comes after that. We're going to continue to explore these principles. But to solidify our intention together, let's chant Om 3 times. Deep breath in. Bring your palms to your heart, lower the chin. Honor yourself as you are in this moment, body, breath, energy, mind, and honoring that which is doing the honoring. Lower the palms together. Bring the heated palms over your eyes, brushing back over the top of your head, down your neck, bringing yourself back to the room. Good. So our first practice is going to be sitting on our heels. And you can sit on a block if you'd like to. And as always, if this is terribly uncomfortable for you, just come back to crossed legs. You can still do the exercise with the legs crossed. I'm going to grab a block because I have one, and why not? Good. So this is a Kundalini practice, this next one. So it's going to start off slow, and then we're going to pick up the pace. And especially since our intention is to create tension to release tension, I'm going to ask you to push yourself a little bit. So by all means, don't pass out, but maybe like go a notch, just a notch further than what might feel absolutely comfortable. Good. So go ahead and bring your hands on top of your shoulders, 4 fingers in front, thumbs behind you. And with your inhale, roll the shoulders down the back, open the heart, look up. With your exhale, round your shoulders forward, bring the elbows toward one another and look down. And inhale, open back up again. And exhale, round the back, look down. Keep going, just starting off slow here because we are just warming up. Inhale, opening up, and exhale, rounding. Now, as you're moving here, most of this movement should be happening from the mid back to your upper back. The lower back should not be swaying too much here, if at all. Inhale, opening up, exhale, rounding. Good. So when we pick up the movement, we're also going to pick up the breath because you're moving with the breath. So notice the capacity or the speed at which you're moving now, and let's go double speed. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Feeling the shoulders warm up, the upper back warm up. Getting used to this new speed. Notice the speed at which you're going at now. Double time. Keep it up, you can do it. We're gonna go for a little bit longer. 3, 2, and slow it down, slow it down. Deep breath in, release. Feel sensation in your shoulders, your neck, your arms, your upper back, your mid back, your lungs. And keeping kind of this internal awareness, fold forward into child's pose. And cap your head on something, whether that's the floor, if your head can reach the floor. You can stack hands or fists. You could also bring that block underneath your forehead. Just cap the head. It's very grounding. And this is the moment of release here. So we moved quickly. We got the body kind of warming up. The breath, the energy moving. Ground it, relax it, soften. Good. One more breath here. And go ahead and make your way to hands and knees, table pose. Hands and knees. Hopefully that was fun for you. So hands under your shoulders, knees beneath the hips. And just like before, we're going to start moving slowly. And then we'll just pick up the pace. We won't go nearly as fast as we did before. This will be a different movement. But inhale, look forward. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale back up to hands and knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, float down onto hands and knees, look forward. Exhale, release the feet, child's pose. So that's our movement. Inhaling to hands and knees, always looking forward at the top. Then exhale to downward facing dog or child's pose, alternating between the two. Just move at your own pace now. It's good to move slowly at first and make sure that you establish what it is you are doing. We're not just moving flippantly, but there's some intentionality behind each posture, each movement, and we're still moving with the breath. Coming into the full extent of each posture before transitioning to the next. And now I'll ask you to maybe just turn up the speed just a little bit. Just move a little more fluidly through the spine, one continuous movement. Inhaling to fours, exhaling to child's pose or down dog, alternating between the two, but allowing the movement to be a bit quicker than before. Same amount of intention, moving with the breath. And as you're ready, you can move a bit quicker. Moving with that breath. Again, coming into the full extent of each pose before transitioning to the next. Just because we're moving quickly doesn't mean we have to do it sloppily. Getting the body nice and warmed up here, the hamstrings, the spine, the shoulders. Moving with that breath, keep going. If you're able to turn it up a bit more, do so, but don't do it at the expense of the integrity of the postures or the flow. You start to feel like you're kind of losing where you're at. That means to slow back down a bit. Couple more times. Good. Next time you land in downward facing dog, go ahead and stop. And make some adjustments real quick, but then get still, because this is the moment to be a bit more relaxed. The movement stopping, the stillness starting, and the breath still breathing with you. All right, we're going to continue warming up, and we're going to use Danda Kriya next. So with your next inhale, please come into plank pose. And with your exhale, bend your elbows in towards your waist, plank yourself 1 inch from the floor, chaturanga. And then press the arms straight, come onto the tops of the feet, knees lift, heart lifts, upward facing dog. And then feel a tug behind your navel that pulls you back into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale into plank pose. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Plank. Chaturanga. Up dog. Downward dog. Let's keep going on your own. And if you want to go quickly, go quickly. This is one of those flows that even if you do it slowly, it's still pretty hard, or it can be, I should say. So it doesn't necessarily need to be quick to be that kind of tensing energy that we are talking about earlier. But if you can move quickly and maintain the integrity of each posture, go ahead and do so. Get nice and warmed up here. This one works the core a bit as well. Let's do a few more. Go through it one more time. Plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and land in downward facing dog. Things are turning up just a bit here. Come into plank pose and get steady. Breathe. Aware of the inhale, aware of the exhale. Deep breath in. Exhale, plank yourself all the way down to the floor this time. Release. Take an adjusting breath. You're doing great. So with your hands underneath your shoulders, feel your pelvis grounding toward the floor. With your next inhale, lift the head, chest, and legs, coming into locust pose. And we're going to stay and breathe. Get light on the hands. The hands can be on the floor. Just don't put a bunch of pressure into them. Feel the legs lifting behind you, maybe even squeezing toward one another. Heart is lifting. Breath is breathing. Squeeze up a bit more. Breathe. A little higher. A little further. 3, 2, squeeze up. And 1, release down, turn the head to a side. Feeling the release, the tensing, and then the letting go. Turn your head to the opposite side. One more breath. And bring the head to center. Hands underneath your shoulders. Curl the toes under. Let's plank on up. And back, downward facing dog. Feel what that feels like now. Good. And then walk your hands back to meet your feet, coming into Uttanasana, the standing forward fold. Good. All right, with your next inhale, sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up to standing. Reach, and bring the arms down. So tensing and letting go, tensing and letting go. Yeah, it happens with movement, it happens with individual tensing of muscles. There's plenty of illusions how this can relate to relationality to other people or to situations in your life. And we might get into some of that a little bit later on. Now we're going to do some arm swings, and we're going to do the version where we drop the body. So I'll just go through it really quickly. I know many of you have done this with me before, but feet stacking underneath the heel or underneath the hips. And it's a 3-part inhale through the nose, powerful exhale to the mouth with the movement. It's inhale, arms up, inhale back, inhale up, and then exhale, bend the knees, drop the body, swing back, and come back up. Now, when we do it this time, normally I say go at your own pace, and I still want you to go at your own pace, but maybe allow your pace to be a bit swifter than you have in the past, okay? And by all means, if you need to stop or slow down, do it, but push yourself a little bit further than you might normally, okay? All right, 2-minute timer, let's get started. Inhale, 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 exhale, inhale, 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 exhale. Swing it out. Feeling the full movement of the shoulders up and back. And again, notice the speed at which you're going at and just try to either stay at that same speed, or if you're feeling good and you want to go further, go further. By all means, you don't have to push yourself into any kind of danger zone, but there might be a discomfort zone that you could entertain for a moment. Swing it out. Notice if you start to slow down a little bit, maybe question why that is. And if you're able to turn it back up, just do it. swing it out. 20 more seconds. Keep it up, you're almost there. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Feeling sensation. The breath rate, the heart rate. Take a breath in, and exhale, fold forward. As you fold forward, just feel yourself melt or soften into the standing forward fold. The knees slightly bent. The belly and chest relaxing over the legs. Feel the head loose, shoulders. Feeling what's there. Allowing this to be your moment of repose. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and bring yourself back up to standing, however you would like to. Ooh. I pushed myself with that one. That was fun. Good. So we think about like yin and yang in yoga, because yin and yang are more like traditional Buddhist concepts. In yoga, it's more like sun and moon. And so it makes sense that if we're doing like kind of a yang practice to do some sun salutations. So it'll be a simpler one. All the movements, I'm sure all of you have done with me before. And I'll instruct the first few rounds, and we'll go at a steadier pace at first. Actually, I'll instruct all the rounds, and here's what we'll do. After the first couple of rounds, I'm going to pick up the pace with my instruction, and if you can keep up, keep up. If you want to go faster, go faster. If you want to go slower, go slower. I'm good? All right, standing tall at the top of your mat, whichever direction that is for you. Good, just get steady first. Check in with where you are in space, your feet on the floor, the top of your mat. Noticing your body here, what's happening in your body. Your breath. And where is your mind? I spoke earlier as we were moving through different postures about the intentionality that we can bring. When we move slowly, we have a lot of intention. And so when we pick up the pace, we want to maintain that intention. So if you start to feel like you're kind of flopping between postures, slow down until you feel like you have control again. All right? Palms to heart. With your next inhale, sweep the arms down and up. Then exhale, just swan dive, fold forward. Palms to shins, halfway up. Then exhale, release. Go ahead and step your right foot way back. Back knee to the floor, crescent lunge. Inhale, lift up. Good. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale into plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog to downward facing dog. Good. Right leg lifts and step it through. Back knee to the ground. When you're ready, crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Palms to shins. And fold. Arms out to the side, inhale coming all the way up. And palms to your heart. Good, we'll do that again. Inhale, sweep up. Fold forward. Palms to shins. And release. Step the left foot back this time. Knee to the floor, crescent lunge. Good, downward facing dog. We'll move through down to Kriya, plank pose, chaturanga, upward facing, downward facing. Left leg lifts when you get there, and step the left foot on through. Take the back knee to the ground, inhale, crescent lunge. And then exhale, hands down, step forward. Palms to shins, halfway up, inhale, and exhale, release. Sweep the arms out to the side, come all the way up, and palms to the heart. Good, I'm gonna turn it up just a bit now, all right? Inhale, lift. Fold. Halfway. Right foot stepping back. Knee to the ground. Crescent lunge. Downward facing dog. Danda Kriya, you know these movements. Returning to downward facing dog, right leg lifts and step it through. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, Uttanasana, step forward. Palms to shins. Exhale, fold. All the way up, inhale. Palms to the heart. Again, inhale, lift. And fold. Halfway. Left foot. Crescent lunge. Downward facing dog. Danda Kriya. Left leg lifts. And step it through. Knee to the ground, crescent lunge. Exhale, step forward. Palms to shins. And down. All the way up. Palms to heart. Turning it up just a bit more. Do what you can. Inhale, lift. Fold. Halfway. Right foot. Lunge. Downward facing dog. Danda Kriya. Right leg lifts and steps. Crescent lunge. Standing forward, fold. Halfway and fold. All the way up. Reach the arms overhead. Exhale, just fold forward or again, just all the way down. Palms to shins. Left foot steps. Crescent lunge. Downward facing. Danda Kriya. Left leg lifts and steps. Crescent lunge. Good. Step forward. Halfway up and down. All the way up. All the way forward. Folding down again. Halfway rise. Right foot. Lunge. Downward facing dog. Danda Kriya. Do your best. Right leg lifts and steps. Lunge. Step forward. Halfway up and fold. all the way up. One more time, folding forward, halfway. Left foot, lunge, downward facing dog, Danda Kriya. Left foot and step, lunge, standing forward fold, halfway up and down, all the way up. Palms to heart, come to stillness. Deep breaths in and out here. Feel sensation as your body comes to this still point. That eye of the storm mentality. We've moved around a bit, we've moved with it. Now we're at that calm, steady center. We're going to stay here for just a little bit longer, but if you want to, relax your arms, palms maybe facing forward slightly. And here we'll do some work for your breath. So you may be a little short-winded right now, maybe not, but maybe. Either way, this will be helpful. Inhale deeply and hold your breath in at the top of the inhale. 3, 2, 1. Slowly exhale through the mouth. You never want to drop the breath. You want it to be a slow exhale. Do it again. Inhale slowly. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Again, deep breath in. Hold. Exhale. One more time. Hold. Release. Good, good. So that last exercise that we did, the holding of the breath, that's another example of creating tension to release it. We hold the breath in. We kind of do it, as the breath is trying to regulate itself. There's a sense of tension that it kind of creates. And the reason why I had you exhale slowly instead of just going, is that by exhaling slowly, we train the body that's okay to take its time with the next breath. We're not kind of grasping at the next thing so much as we're just allowing ourselves to relax a bit more. So that's a good one as well. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down onto hands and knees again. So just go ahead and fold forward wherever you're at. You can step back to down dog if you want to. I like transitions. Unless as you come to child's pose for just maybe 2 or 3 breaths, not long at all, but just enough to get a nice lengthening of the lower back. Some deep breaths with that. Good. And then inhale back up to hands and knees. Downward facing dog. We're going to hold plank pose for an entire minute. All right. Don't think about it, just do it. Inhale, come into plank. Timer starts when the last one's there. I can sense it. So try to have your hips the same plane as your shoulders. Shoulders gliding down the back. And try to regulate your breath as much as you can here. Steady inhale, steady exhale as much as you can. It's okay to shake. It's okay to be kind of in the fire or the discomfort a bit. You're about halfway there. Keep going. 15 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Slowly plank yourself to the floor. Try not to collapse. Good. Now to be the counter to that, the yin to that yang, we're going to come into crocodile pose. So you can look up at me real quick if you need to know the alignment. You're going to take your heels, mat width apart, turn the toes out, inside arches against the ground. This allows the pelvis to relax into the ground. Your arms are going to cross in front of you, but not all the way forward. It's not a face plant. You're going to keep the elbows close to your body a bit and drop the forehead onto the back of the hands. So go ahead and come into this. Crocodile pose. Find your breath here. See if you can relax some effort around your breath. Especially when we exert ourselves, there's this grasping for more and more air. You don't need to do that anymore. We can train our bodies to be a bit more efficient with the breathing. So slow it down, but take deeper breaths. Easier breaths, less grasping breaths. Contemplating the idea of creating tension to release tension. We've experienced that in our bodies tonight, our energies, our breath. There are plenty of other ways that we can see this play out in useful ways in our lives, our relationships. Sometimes things just can't relax without being tensed up a bit more. You have to bring some stuff up in order to let it go. Especially in relationships where you might experience resentment. Things go unsaid. Maybe things need to be said to be resolved, that tension being diffused through those moments of discomfort, those moments of higher tension. Letting the steam out of the kettle, bringing it up to let it go, creating tension to release tension. And stay for just a few more breaths. Okay, so taking a deeper, fuller breath, please. Go and bring your feet closer together as you normally would have them. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's push up to hands and knees and extend back to child's pose. You might need to walk your knees forward a bit. Child's pose. Good. Inhale up to hands and knees. All right. So go ahead and step your left foot forward, coming into our lunge that we did earlier. Now we're going to be coming into a twist here in just a moment. If you need some support here, what you can do is you can bring a block underneath your right hand, and that'll just give you a bit more length in your spine, a little bit more lift to get that rotation. Okay, so use a prop if you need it. But bring your right hand to the inside of your left foot. Then inhale, reach the left arm forward. Exhale, spiral the left arm into the air and back, coming into a twist. Now, if it's hard to do that here, if you're kind of like rounding the left shoulder down, you're looking forward and you're kind of reaching back, Just bring your left hand onto your hip and work the shoulder. Okay, a little sass in the shoulder, just pulling it back. But keep the hip sinking down and forward. Roll the left shoulder back. Again, you can bring a block underneath the right hand to get a bit more lift here if you need to. And be careful of that right shoulder, the bottom one is kind of scrunching up towards your ear. Pull that away too. You want space on both sides of the neck. I know that makes it harder. Now we're going to hold this for another minute or so, and you can stay right here if you'd like to. You can make any adjustments while you're in the pose. If you want to make it harder, if you do, you can curl the back toes under and lift the back knee, coming into a raised twisting lunge. Just keep the rotation in the spine. If by lifting the back knee, you come out of this twist, lower the knee and work the twist, okay? Again, there's that integrity in the posture. About 20 more seconds. Keep rolling the left shoulder back. Keep sinking into the hip. Keep space on the right side of the neck. Keep breathing. All right, go ahead and bring your left hand down, downward facing dog. Adjusting. And then we'll do the other side. Go ahead and step your right foot forward, help it along. And the knee on the ground, the back knee on the ground to start. No need to get too crazy here. Good, left hand to the inside of the right foot. Again, you could bring a block there if you want to. Then inhale, extend the right arm forward. Exhale, roll the right shoulder back, twist. Again, that top hand, the right hand, come onto your waist if you'd like to. Especially at first. And keep space on the left side of the neck. So if it starts to scrunch up, just pull that shoulder down. Breathe. Keep the front knee bending. If you want to lift up the back knee, you can. If that pulls you out of the twist, drop the back knee and work the twist. This is a twist first. Keep breathing, keep holding. Good, inhale, bring the right hand down. Step back, downward facing dog. Hands and knees to child's pose. Allowing this to be a relieving moment from the tension to release the tension. Maybe just acknowledging how you relate to the practice now than maybe when you first started this evening. Maybe it makes more sense. Maybe it feels more integrated. Who knows, you might even be excited about it. Any way you're feeling is welcome. All right, when you're ready, please come back up to hands and knees. And I'm going to take a moment to actually demonstrate this pose. Sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. Today I will, because we're going to be holding it for a while, and it's dolphin pose. So for dolphin pose, you'll start on hands and knees, and you'll bring your elbows down to where your hands were. Okay, so the elbows are underneath the shoulders. And for this version tonight, I'm going to have you clasp hands or interlace your fingers and just have the fists or hands on the floor here. Okay, and then you'll curl the toes under and just lift the hips into the air and pull the heart away from the floor. So you don't want to scrunch down here. You want to keep some lift in the shoulders. And this is dolphin. You can keep the knees bending slightly. The idea here is to, of course, lengthen the shoulders, but to keep the back pretty flat. So straightening the legs rounds the back sometimes. You want to keep the back flat, and you can bend the knees to help with that. All right, we're gonna we're gonna pray together. So go ahead and come on to hands and knees. Release your elbows down to where your hands were. Clasp your hands. Good. Go ahead and curl the toes under. Lift the knees, the hips into the air. Notice any scrunching of the shoulders by the ears and just pull the shoulders away. Lift. Again, you can bend the knees to create that length in the spine here. And immediately you feel the engagement in the shoulders and the arms. This is definitely a creating tension to release tension posture. So allow it to be here. Allow the fire to be with you here. The discomfort, the burning, transformation, however you want to look at it. You start to feel yourself collapse, lift back up. Breathe. Find comfort in the breath. Find solace in the breath. You're almost there, about 15 more seconds. It's a long minute, I know. Breathe. One more breath. Good. And then to come out, carefully release the knees down, and then just extend back into child's pose. You can release the hands if you want to, and cap the head on something, whether it's the floor or a block or your hands. Cap the head. Feel sensation. Having released the effort of that posture, might feel like circulation in the shoulders. Maybe your arms want to relax down by your side. One more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself on up. Maybe just sit for a moment and just feel sensation as you kind of come up from that experience. Your body, your energy, your breath, your mind. Connection to that which is beyond your mind. Maybe there's just a sense of ease. Maybe not, but maybe. All right. So we have a few more postures to do. Though it seems like we've done a lot tonight. I'm going to have you come onto your back for those. All right. Come on to lie down. Take your time getting there. And just have your arms down by your side and bring your heels underneath your knees. Bridge prep. We'll go in and out of bridge pose a few times. So with your next inhale, press your feet into the floor, lift the hips into the air. Exhale, release the hips back down. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the hips on up. Exhale, release them on down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, release. Good, we're gonna come into hold this time. So go ahead and lift the hips. And as the hips are lifted, if you can, interlace your fingers underneath your body. And then try to walk onto the sides of your arms. So that allows the chest to lift up just a little bit higher. Your heart bowing toward your chin just a little bit deeper. Feet flat on the floor. Soften your throat, soften your jaw, your eyes. We're just going to stay for a few more breaths. Try to stay lifted as much as you can. Deep breath in. Then exhale, carefully release the shoulders out, unclasp the hands, and hips come down to the floor. Hug your knees into your chest. Just taking a moment here. Good. And then release your left foot down to the floor, just like you had it for bridge. And you're going to cross your right leg all the way over, the left leg, all the way over. Take it all the way over. And then scoot your hips to the right. Keep your shoulders where they're at, but scoot your hips to the right side of your mat. And then bring your knees into your chest. Arms come out to the side here. Deep breath in. And exhale, take your knees crossed to the left. Keep them hugged up toward your body as much as you can. Feel your right shoulder anchor back. Look to the right if you can. And that left hand can rest on top of your right thigh if you want. Nice deep twist here. See if you can relax a bit deeper into this posture. Soften the belly, shoulders. Just imagine yourself melting here. All right, deepening your breath. Take your time as you unwind, coming back. Uncross the legs and scoot your hips to center. All right, we're gonna go the other way. So go ahead and keep your right foot on the floor. Cross your left leg all the way over, as far as you can. Now, before we go any further, scoot your hips to the left side of your mat. Keep your shoulders in center. And then hug the knees in. Keep them hugged in pretty close. And then drop the knees crossed to the right. Feel your left arm and shoulder hang out behind you, rounding toward the floor. Your chin can turn to the left here. And your right hand can rest on top of that left thigh. Not forcing the twist, but just encouraging that twist. And see if you can soften a bit deeper here. Where are you holding? Can you relax the belly, the lower back, the ribs, shoulder, neck? Just imagine yourself melting here. And that's how much you're letting go of that tension. Keep softening, keep breathing. All right, so go ahead and deepen your breath. Carefully bring everything back to center. Uncross the legs. Scooch the hips to center. Look down to make sure that actually happened. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. And hug your knees in. Good. You can just hug them in if you want to. You can kind of curl up into a ball, get a tighter grip on the knees, and relax down again. And take these next few moments to just make any final adjustments to rest on your back. You can stay in this forward bend for a little longer if you want to. If there's something else you feel like your body needs before you relax, do it. Okay, and then make yourself comfortable in Shavasana, releasing into our final resting posture. Bringing any support where you need it. We are going to do one quick practice here in Shavasana before we actually relax. But make yourself comfortable. So again, our theme is creating tension to release tension, bringing it up to let it go. We can do that really, it's a really effective way to allow your body to relax quickly, especially if there's a lot of tension being held. And we've worked pretty hard to release tension tonight, but we're still going to see what that feels like. So I'm going to ask you to tense every muscle except for your jaw in your body as much as you can in just a moment. All right. So just relax for a second. And you're going to try to keep breathing if you can. So take a deep breath in. And with your exhale, just clench everything. Squeeze the toes, squeeze the hands, flex the arms, flex the legs. The pelvic floor pulls up, navel to spine, the eyes squint, the face squinches. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Everything tensing, everything tensing. Squeeze it as much as you can. Squeeze, breathe. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. A little bit more. A little bit more. And let go. Everything relaxes. Your belly, your hands, your feet, your eyes, your face, your legs, your arms, your torso, your upper back, your lower back. Your pelvic floor, everything softens. Feel your breath be easy. There might even be this floating like sensation, just a sense of buoyancy or softness, lightness, whatever your experience is, just be with it and keep melting. We created tension, we let it go, and now we get to keep letting it go. Oh. Peace, peace, peace. Feeling that softness, feeling that buoyancy. Allow your breath to deepen into that. And make gentle movements in your hands and feet, your arms and legs. Carefully rolling to your right side. And coming up to a seat as you feel complete here. What a journey we've been on tonight, this creating tension to release tension. We're going to end with just a few more moments of practicing that idea, which will be a mirror to our centering practice. So just sit comfortably, sit tall, and just notice that there's a difference in the practice now that we've done more work with this. But become aware of your eyes, and then just squeeze the eyes together slowly, tightening, tightening, tightening. Breathe, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep squeezing. Maybe noticing that play of light that happens when we squeeze the eyes. That's somewhat entertaining. Just be aware of it. Keep squeezing. Squeeze a little tighter. And then let go. Feel the sensation of blood flow, circulation in the eye sockets, a relief, the eyes. Squeeze your shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze, 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 squeeze them up, squeeze them up. As much as you can. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Keep squeezing the shoulders. Clench your fists. Clench your fists. The arms, the fists, the shoulders. Squeeze up everything tightening. Everything tightening. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Couple more breaths. Squeeze. Deep breath in. And relax it all. Splay your hands out. Stretch the fingers as much as you can. Breathe. And then relax your hands onto your thighs or knees. We're going to do the pelvic floor and the abdomen. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, pull at the pelvic floor. Feeling able to pull back toward the spine. All of those muscles in there just squeezing toward a single point. Squeeze. Breathe if you can. Squeeze a little tighter, a little harder. You're almost there. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Pull at the pelvic floor. Squeeze all of those muscles together. Deep breath in and let go. Now, all night, I've been saying to not tense the jaw. And what I meant that by that is not to clench the jaw. There is a way to help relieve tension in this way with the jaw, and that is to stretch it as wide as you can. So go ahead and stretch the jaw open as wide as you can to the point where it starts to hurt. As much as you can, just keep stretching, keep opening. Breathe as you do so. Almost there, keep going. And relax, but don't bring the teeth together. Keep them soft apart from each other. And just being with that softness in the jaw, the softness in the eyes, the shoulders, the hands, the arms, the belly, the pelvic floor, and all the muscles that we've engaged tonight. bringing it up to let it go, creating tension to release tension. Keep contemplating that, how you can bring that into more of the relationality of your life, to jobs, to people, to concepts. You might find some wisdom there. But for now, take a deeper breath, bring your palms together, and may this work we've done here together tonight, this practice, continue to serve you. So until we meet again, namaste.